Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going deep into the world of animal rescue.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Buckle up.
yeah, buckle up, because this one's
a doozy.
it's not exactly the warm and fuzzy story you might be used to.
Right.
We're looking at the case of Erica Erickson,
Yeah?
and let me tell you, it's a messy one. We've got news reports, court documents, even just like a ton of information compiled online.
A lot to unpack.
Yeah, and it all paints a pretty complicated picture, to say the least.
It really does. I mean, this case, it makes you think about, like, accountability in the animal rescue world.
Right.
Transparency,
Sure.
And it just shows how sometimes even good intentions can lead to some really serious problems.
Okay, so to catch everyone up, we're talking about Erica Erickson, who used to be an attorney.
Right.
But she was disbarred in North Carolina back in 2020.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about some small, slip up here. The North Carolina Court of Appeals actually upheld her disbarment.
Wow.
They found her guilty of a whole bunch of ethical violations. Like what?
Like, misrepresenting herself and giving legal advice when she wasn't supposed to.
Oof.
Yeah, and, misrepresenting yourself in the legal world, that's a major no-no.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the bedrock of the whole system, right? Trust
Yeah.
you shake that, and the whole thing crumbles.
And it goes even deeper than that.
Oh.
There's this one example from the court documents that's just, like, wild.
Okay, I'm listening.
So she notarized a signature on a document for an estate sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But get this. She claimed to know the person signing when she didn't even know them.
She just, made it up.
Pretty much.
That's not just an oversight. That's, straight up falsification.
Exactly. And that's not something you just brush off.
Right. That's a pattern of behavior. Sets off alarm bells,
For sure. But hold on. The story gets even crazier.
Oh, boy. How much crazier can it get?
So after all this, after being disbarred, Erickson moves to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And she starts not one, but multiple animal rescue organizations.
Yeah, like Playa Paws
Huh?
and Siamese Rescue of Puerto Rico.
So she goes from
Oof.
legal trouble to animal rescue. That's quite a pivot.
It is, and that's where things take a really dark turn.
Okay, how so?
In August of 2023, Once, they have this investigative news unit called Las Noticias. They launched this big investigation. They called it Garras del Maltrato, which basically means claws of abuse.
Yikes.
Yeah, and they were focused on these animal rescue organizations that Erickson started.
What did they find?
What they found was bad.
Like bad.
Bad.
Oh, no.
They found dozens of cats living in just awful conditions at her place in Añasco, Puerto Rico.
What do you mean by awful?
Like, the reports described just filth everywhere, a ton of diseases, cages all over the place, piles of trash. It was grim.
That's just heartbreaking. Those poor animals.
Yeah, and it gets worse.
Worse? How can it get worse?
Well, one of Erickson's neighbors told Once something really disturbing.
What was that?
The neighbor claimed that Erickson was intentionally hurting the cats.
Hurting them.
Yeah, like burning them and stuff.
Wait, hold on. Burning them? Why would she do that?
The allegation is that she did it to get people to donate more.
You mean to make people feel sorry for them?
Exactly. If that's true, it's just sickening. Like, using animals to make money.
That's just beyond messed up. To think that someone would exploit animals like that.
I know, right? And on top of all that, there's this other document we have.
Oh, what's in that?
It's like a compilation of information from various sources online.
Okay.
And they basically label Erickson as blacklisted.
Blacklisted.
Yeah, and they claim she uses all these different aliases.
What kind of aliases?
Like Erica Marie, Erica Albright, that kind of thing.
So is she trying to hide from her past?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, wouldn't you?
It makes you wonder, right? What is she running from?
And this is where it gets really, really wild. Because in November of 2024, Erickson filed a lawsuit.
Lawsuit against who?
Against Jonathan Colin Garcia and Sylvia Perea Cortez.
Wait, those names ring a bell. Don't they run that other animal rescue organization?
Officially Blackheart Trappers, Transport and Rescue.
Oh, wow. Okay, so she's suing them.
Yeah.
But why?
Because she claims Garcia was posting all this stuff about her on Facebook, accusing her of some horrible things.
Like what?
Like throwing dead cats out of the window,
What?
burning cats, having feces in her bed.
Oh, my God. That's awful. But are these accusations true?
That's the thing, we don't know for sure.
Hmm.
She claims he tagged over 3,700 followers when he posted all this stuff and shared it in groups with like over 100,000 members.
Wow, talk about going viral. And then Cortez reposted it.
Yep. So now Erickson is saying all these statements are totally false, that they're defamatory, and they're taken out of context.
So on one hand, we've got all these allegations against Erickson from multiple sources about abuse, neglect, even fraud. But on the other hand, she's claiming she's the victim of a smear campaign orchestrated by competitors.
It's almost impossible to know what to believe at this point.
And to make things even more confusing, there's this one detail from her lawsuit.
What's that?
She's claiming to have rescued over 5,000 cats throughout her career in animal rescue.
5,000 cats. That's a lot of cats.
It is. It's like, how can someone who claims to have saved so many animals also be accused of such horrific cruelty?
It's mind-boggling, right?
It really is. It's like,
yeah.
Are we dealing with a genuine animal welfare hero who's been wrongly accused? Or is there something much darker going on here?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is. And that's what we're going to try to figure out.
It's like we're looking at two completely opposite stories here.
Yeah.
You know, on one hand, you've got Erickson painting this picture of herself as this, like, voted rescuer who's been totally wronged. And then on the other hand, there are all these accusations, abuse, neglect, maybe even fraud. It's hard to wrap your head around.
It really emphasizes just how important it is to, like, really look beneath the surface, you know, especially with organizations that depend so much on their image and pulling at people's heartstrings.
What about this defamation lawsuit? I mean, do you think it has any merit?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is she genuinely trying to clear her name?
Right.
Or is this just a way to shut down anyone who criticizes her?
Could be a way to dodge responsibility, too.
Exactly. We have to keep in mind, lawsuits can be used for a lot of different reasons.
Okay, so maybe she's not so innocent.
We don't know that for sure.
True.
But we can't forget about Garcia and Cortez either.
The couple who run the other rescue.
Right. Blackheart trappers. What's their angle in all of this?
Yeah, are they really just worried about the animals? Or are they trying to take down a competitor?
It's possible their concerns are genuine.
Yeah.
Right. After all, the accusations against Erickson are pretty serious.
Yeah, they are.
And they've clearly made an effort to bring those accusations to light.
But you have to admit, competition in the animal rescue world has got to be fierce.
Oh, absolutely. It's a reality in almost every field, right?
Sure.
You've got organizations constantly vying for funding,
donations,
volunteers, even the animals themselves.
It's almost naive to think that Moca law wouldn't play a role in this whole mess.
Yeah, those dynamics can definitely muddy the waters.
This whole thing really makes you think about just how complicated animal rescue can be.
It's not always sunshine and roses, that's for sure.
Yeah, you tend to think of it as this purely selfless field.
Right. Everybody's just driven by love for animals.
But clearly there's a lot more to it.
It's crucial to remember that passion doesn't automatically equal ethical behavior.
Right.
You can be passionate about something and still make bad choices.
So what do we do? How do we know who to trust?
That's the tough part, right?
It's hard to know what to believe when you've got all this conflicting information.
Absolutely.
Who do we support? How do we even know if our donations are really helping?
I think it comes down to being a more critical and informed supporter.
What do you mean?
Well, instead of just reacting emotionally to a sad story, take some time to actually gather information.
Do your research.
Exactly. And look at a variety of sources, not just one side of the story.
So don't just take everything at face value.
Exactly.
Look for any red flags. Don't be afraid to ask some tough questions.
That's the spirit. Think of it like you're conducting your own investigation.
An investigation into animal rescue organizations.
Exactly. Right? Start by checking if they're a legitimate nonprofit.
Okay.
Look for their mission statement. Are they upfront about their finances and how they operate?
Transparency is key.
You got it. And don't be shy about digging into their track record.
Like, have they been taking good care of the animals they're supposed to be helping?
Right. You can also go beyond just looking at official websites and documents.
Oh, yeah. What else?
Look for online reviews, testimonials, news reports. See what other people who have actually interacted with the organization have to say.
That's a good point.
Get a feel for their reputation.
Social media can be helpful too, but you got to be careful with that.
Oh, for sure. Social media is a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, it's easy for information to get twisted or presented in a biased way.
Exactly. So always approach what you see online with a healthy dose of skepticism.
So basically, we need to be more active in how we support animal welfare.
Yes. Blind trust isn't enough.
We have to be willing to do our homework and hold these organizations accountable.
You got it. Informed support is about more than just donating money, or liking a post on Facebook.
It's about really understanding the issues, asking those difficult questions, and making decisions that reflect your values.
Absolutely. It's about knowing that your support is truly making a difference for the animals.
So, wow, we really went deep on this whole Erica Erickson situation.
Yeah, we did.
And I bet some of you listening are thinking, okay, this is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
Twists and turns everywhere, right?
It really is.
But let's step back for a second.
Okay.
And talk about the bigger picture here.
Sounds good.
Because, at the end of the day, we all care about animals.
That's why we're here.
Right. And we want to make sure our support is actually making a difference.
Exactly. And I know it's tempting to just throw in the towel and say, forget it, I'm done with animal rescue.
Right, like this is too much.
Exactly. But that's not helping the animals who need us.
It's not. So what do we do?
Well, we need to become smarter about how we support animal welfare.
Smarter.
Yeah, like more informed, more discerning.
So not just letting our emotions lead the way.
Right. Because those heartbreaking stories and pictures we see.
The ones that make you want to donate right away.
Exactly. They can be really powerful, but they don't always tell the whole story.
Okay, so what can we do, right now to make sure our donations are actually going to good organizations?
Well, first off, don't just jump in based on a sad story, no matter how compelling it seems.
Take a step back.
Yes. Do a little digging. Start with the basics.
Basics like what?
Like, is this organization even legit? Are they registered as a nonprofit?
Makes sense.
Do they have a clear mission statement? Can you find information about their leadership? The board of directors, key staff.
Oh, okay. So transparency is important.
Huge. If an organization is being shady about how they operate or where the money goes, that's a big red flag.
Got it. What else should we be looking for?
Financial accountability. Are they open about how they use donations? Do they have annual reports that are easy to find?
I wouldn't even know where to look for that.
A lot of organizations post them right on their websites.
Oh, okay.
And look to see how much of their money actually goes to the animals versus, administrative costs.
So you can see where the money's actually going.
Right. And, if you can, actually visit the shelter or rescue facility.
In person.
Yeah, if at all possible. Seeing things firsthand can be really eye-opening.
Like a surprise visit?
Well, maybe schedule a visit first.
Right, of course.
But seriously, check out the conditions. Are the animals well cared for? Is the place clean and safe? Do the staff seem like they genuinely care?
So it's like you're interviewing the organization.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like they would interview you if you wanted to adopt.
So it flips the script.
Yep. And don't be afraid to ask those tough questions.
Like what?
Like, what's their adoption process like? What about medical care? Do they have a plan for animals with special needs?
The ones that might be harder to adopt out.
Right. And honestly, if something feels off, trust your gut.
Go with your instinct.
Yes. There are so many amazing organizations out there doing fantastic work.
We just got to find the right ones.
Exactly. It's worth taking the time to find the ones that really align with your values.
And remember, supporting animal welfare doesn't have to mean donating to a big organization.
Right. You can volunteer at a local shelter.
Okay.
Foster an animal.
Foster, yeah.
Even just educate yourself about responsible pet ownership and talk to your friends and family about it.
Or spread the word.
Exactly. Every little bit helps.
Well, this deep dive into the Erica Erickson case, it's been quite a journey.
It has.
I mean, we've seen just how complicated animal rescue can be.
It's not always as simple as it seems.
It really makes you think about our role in all of this.
For sure.
What responsibility do we have as individuals to make sure animals are treated right?
Not just by rescue organizations, but by everyone.
Yeah. By society as a whole.
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is. And it's something we all need to think about.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you learned something.
We hope it gave you some things to think about.
And maybe even inspired you to get involved.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep asking those tough questions.
We'll see you next time.